radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Big part of life, money. It is what drives your existence. It's an absolute fact. You work really hard to make it. You spend it. You do a pretty good job with that. I mean, sometimes you spend a little too much. Sometimes you get into debt. Sometimes
Why do you look at me when you say that? Come on.
I didn't look at you. I mean, I looked at your screen a little, but I wasn't. There was no implication, even though you are taking two vacations
Here I am
this
taking
summer.
a break. Here I am taking a break from my vacations to be on the show, and you're picking on me.
I know. You're
can't
right.
believe it.
I should appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got a review. By the way, we're going to talk a little bit about reviews today.
Oh no!
This review is the headline is 5-star show. I like the jokes Tom tells.
Oh, there's a troubled individual if there ever was one.
But here's another one. We have 2 reviewers on Apple Podcasts who consistently rewrite their same negative bad reviews.
Oh, people.
Yeah, one
Find
of them
something
is
to do.
Boomer Me. And the other one is a guy who goes by NavRep. I think it's a guy. But and the only reason I'm talking about it today is because I looked at NavRep's most recent review, and he made an offer in public, and I want to take him up on the offer.
Is this about Bitcoin or something?
Of course it's about Bitcoin.
I thought we were supposed to start talking about the tax thing, but okay, we'll go with Bitcoin.
I told you we were talking about Bitcoin first.
Okay, all right. You cool.
The tax thing? There's nothing to the tax thing.
Well, there's reduction, how much you pay in Social Security tax. There's more in the SALT deductions, but okay.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
We already talked about
I'm
the
only
big,
here
beautiful
temporarily.
bill.
I'm only here for a few hours, and
When's
then I'm out
your
of
next
here
vacation,
again,
by the way?
I'm not even going to mention it.
All right, here we go. Ready? This is from NavRep.
Yeah, please. Mm-hmm.
This, I'm going to read it verbatim.
Please.
The headline is, willing to give you a 5-star review.
Ooh, which, by the way, we have a lot of,
Wait,
just to put it out there. Yes, that's fine.
This podcaster regularly puts out incorrect information and yet continues to beg for better reviews. If you are willing to correct your false statements, I can guarantee you a 5-star review from me.
Ooh.
You have repeatedly made the statement that Bitcoin cannot be used as payment. This is totally false. In fact, another U.S. business recently announced it will accept Bitcoin as payment at 100% of its Steak and Shake restaurants.
Which I have yet to attend, but
you can use Bitcoin
experience.
at Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
now,
I don't know.
I admit, I use the hyperbolic.
Now, these are your words. These are your words. Yes,
I admit that I use the word hyperbolically, the word nobody. Yeah. I didn't mean literally nobody because I know that people accept Bitcoin. We talked about it years ago. There are some.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But to me, this is a rounding error. The number of people.
Okay, but wait, you didn't finish the
No, I'm going to go to the next part. I'm going to cut it up in 2 pieces.
In other words, what you're saying is don't be so literal. Yes, there are some, but not in a general sense. You can't go down and buy gas.
I am going to give the exact number.
Okay.
The
exact number.
As of March.
Okay. Yeah.
In the world, there are, and this is from the industry, by the way. This is from the Bitcoin or the crypto industry. There are 15,000 businesses, and they even say that. By the way, Bitcoin Bob says that in one of his. There are 15,000 businesses that take. There are 15,000 that take Bitcoin.
That sounds like a small number to me.
How many businesses are there in the world that accept money?
300 million? I don't know.
You're actually very, very close.
What?
You're very, very close. There are about, 359 million businesses worldwide as of 2024. So that means that 0.0004% of businesses in the world accept Bitcoin. In other words, and I checked the stats to make sure, statistically speaking, you are more likely to get struck by lightning than pay for something in Bitcoin.
It reminds me of the bad joke I do when people come in. I give them my business card and I say, take this to your neighborhood Starbucks for a free, latte. And they go, whoa, really? I go, participating Starbucks.
Participating, exactly.
Yeah, you may buy
I found another statistic from somebody. They said, because I guess Canadian Tire gives you like fake money. You can buy things with it. More people accept Canadian
fake
Tire
Canadian money?
Canadian money. More people accept it. So I didn't mean nobody. I meant almost nobody. Now we'll get to the second part we're going to get a 5-star review out of this, Tom. All right? So I'm going to do the second part right after we take this break. Don't go away.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you suffer from financial flinch reflex? Hi, I'm Don McDonald, and financial flinch reflex, or FFR, is a widespread condition triggered by watching too much financial news and not having a solid retirement plan. Common symptoms include doom scrolling, yelling at your portfolio, and considering gold bars, crypto, or your brother-in-law's startup. Markets don't cause panic. Not having a plan for them does. The best treatment? A real financial plan. One that's based on your life, not the latest headlines. And yes, we're talking to you, future retiree. Start your financial calming regimen today with a free, no-pressure meeting with an Apella advisor at TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's TalkingRealMoney.com, because a plan is the antidote to panic. Side effects of planning may include peace of mind, smarter investing, and fewer late-night CNBC binges. Please plan responsibly. Apella is an SEC-registered investment advisor. See AppellaWealth.com or the firm's Form ADV for more details.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Don. That's Tom over there in the Washington studio. We're talking about your money, and today, well, oh, by the way, our phone number is 855-935-TALK. If you'd like to join in, maybe ask a question, share something with us. I am being personally humbled today by my imprecision in the words that I spoke in the past. I am
Try to be a little more accurate.
I will try to be more precise. I did say that not anybody but basically I said nobody accepts Bitcoin as payment. I meant that hyperbolically. Some people do.
Yeah, you don't get to El Salvador very much, apparently.
Exactly. I haven't ever been there. But the reality is that 0.0004% of global businesses accept Bitcoin. So I'm sorry for not being precise. Let me go on and read a little bit more of this review. This is coming from a review. I am willing to do this to get a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. This is the lengths I'm willing to go to.
Will you walk across hot coals?
No, but I will give you the precise facts.
Listen to an equity index pitch?
Oh, that I would do if there's a stake involved.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Trying to find out.
That's because that's fun. So the review goes on saying, we've talked about the Bitcoin, who accepts it, got it, Steak and Shake, and about a dozen other businesses. Okay, I'm exaggerating. That's hyperbole again.
It's in the thousands.
It's 15,000. Yeah, it's 15,000.
Right. Okay,
he goes on to say, surely the Talking Real Money podcasters are keeping up with current events, which we do. We read a lot.
We do.
But he goes on to say, you also stated that it costs 8% in fees to convert Bitcoin to dollars. This is also untrue. I recently converted Bitcoin to dollars for less than 1%. This rate is available at most exchanges. Clean up the information you are telling your viewers, and the better reviews will follow. I am so excited about the better review to follow, because what I was talking about when I said it can cost 8% in fees to convert Bitcoin to dollars, and I may or may not have said it. I don't have the transcript in front of me. But what I was referring to, and Tom, you can attest to this, was we talked about ATMs.
Yeah,
Bitcoin
if you go get
ATMs.
money out. Right, yeah, if you're trying to move it. Yeah.
I was not referring to Bitcoin exchanges. I'll get to them in a minute. But let's get to the facts on ATMs.
These places you can go and actually get dollars out for your Bitcoin.
There's one of the CD motel down the street.
They're around. Yeah, they're around.
Okay, according
wait,
to...
Wait. Now he's going to be on you about the CD motel.
Well, it is. It's a CD motel down the street. It's the closest one to me. We live in tourist land here. And
that's true.
Anyway, according to Coin Time ATM, a company in the ATM business, as of March 2025... their survey found that the typical U.S. ATM, or all U.S. Bitcoin ATMs, charge between 5% and 25% per transaction, with the median being 17.5%. That's on top of the basic exchange rate. That's just their ATM fee.
So 20% to get your money.
Yeah, and the Federal Reserve did another study, and they found the total cost, including the exchange rate markups, came to at or above 20%. Even one study found it as high as 30%.
That's just crazy.
That's at ATMs. I was referring to ATMs. Now, let's go to the exchanges.
Yeah.
Where at Kraken, if you use Kraken, great name for an exchange.
Isn't that a hockey team or something?
Yeah,
too?
it's also a sea monster. And it's also the name of a cryptocurrency, I believe.
Okay, well.
You can definitely make a transaction for less than 1% if you are transferring money. But here's the thing. You're not going to grab cash from them. It's not going to be spendable cash. It'll be an ACH transfer, which typically takes 1 to 3 days, from your Bitcoin exchange account to your bank account. But yes,
then you could get the money.
Then you can get the money. So yes, you can. So the facts are, yes, you can convert from Bitcoin to dollars for less than 1% if you do it through your exchange, and it's a good exchange. Some are more expensive. I got the numbers if you want them. Yes, some businesses do accept Bitcoin.
15,000, not a big number.
It's the tiniest of teeny baby minorities.
It hasn't done what people said it was going to do. Remember, the narrative was you're not going to deal with the government, all the rest of this stuff. That's why you should be in Bitcoin.
And that's the main argument for it. That really is the main argument, I think. Again, that's my opinion, not a fact.
It's turned into a wonderful trading vehicle where you can trade. So, all right. So I want to know. What are the odds now that you will actually get a 5-star review from this guy? I'd say it's pretty small.
I think it's pretty small.
He's going to pick on you about the CD thing. He's going to pick on you and say 15,000 businesses.
Were there any? Did I give you the facts? Do you?
Well, I don't know that the hotel is actually seedy. No.
Okay, it's called Saralago. Look it up online.
No-tell.
It's down on US 192. It used to be, before it lost its designation as a Holiday Inn.
Let me guess, it was Steak and Shake?
It used to be a Holiday Inn, and now it's a nothing. Okay. You know how you lose your brand? They won't even let you use the brand anymore.
Because it was so bad.
That's the definition of seedy.
Right. I'm teasing you, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Point of the matter is, what I said, I think stands. Bitcoin, while the value has appreciated.
Oh, don't ruin my 5-star review.
Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it has not taken over to be the global currency that people thought it would. It is still very lightly integrated into the business community. Could that change? I suppose. But it is a vehicle that people trade every day.
But my argument's always been the argument against its use as a currency.
Well, that's what I mean, you can't pay your taxes with it. Well, no, or can you in the new big tax bill? I don't know, maybe.
I haven't read the whole thing. I'll have ChatGPT read it again.
Exactly.
No, but here's the other thing. If your dollar fluctuated between $1, or actually, let's say your dollar fluctuated between 50 cents and $1.50 week to week, would this be a currency you'd want to use?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
because
like
you never
Weimar.
know what stuff's going to cost.
Yeah, that's crazy. Part 2 is to get the money, to pay 20% to get my money. Not liking that.
Well, that's from the
either.
ATM. Shh, don't get me in trouble again.
Okay, I'm just saying that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you convert it from,
see what happens.
If you're at Kraken and you convert it via ACH, the banking system, and it goes into your bank account, then you can go to the Bank of America ATM and get it out just like you normally do.
Yep.
With no cost. Yep. All right. I think we put that to rest.
5 stars. 5 stars.
We're looking for the 5 stars, NavRep. Now, I bet you Boomer Me does not give us 5 stars.
Another nasty comment. Who's the guy who always calls you?
That's Boomer Me.
One, right?
I think that's. I'm pretty sure that's Boomer Me. By the style of the writing.
Got you on speed dial.
Well, speed ask questions of. I don't know what that means. Okay. And he said at the end of it, Boomer Me said at the end of his review, from a loyal listener, because he agreed with NavRep, from a loyal listener, it is time for you to clean up a few things.
Yeah.
What did we just do? clean up on aisle 7.
I don't think it'll be to their satisfaction, but okay.
I cleaned it all up. 855-935-TALK. We've got lines available, and we want to, talk to you about money. The money matters that really matter to you, along with those that we throw in because we think they're fun or informative. We'll be back.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom, you got to come back. Where are you? Where'd Tom go? He's not there. All right, well, this was for his benefit. I asked ChatGPT to give me some metaphors for the acceptance rate of Bitcoin in the world's businesses. Now, this is from ChatGPT, not me. Not me. It's about as accepted as beer at a Baptist wedding. I don't even have time to laugh. Or I love this one. 15,000 out of 359 million businesses. In other words, nobody takes Bitcoin unless your idea of accepted everywhere is one gas station in El Paso and a guy named Greg with a lawn mowing service. So there you have it. 855-93, and that's the last word. And those were jokes from ChatGPT, you guys, not me. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. And it's free and easy, and we'd love to talk with you. And we are now going to go to Sammamish. And Jason, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Tom and Don.
Hello, Jason. What's up?
Well, I have a question here. So I have, in my taxable brokerage, I have a couple of different Vanguard ETFs, one being VUG, the other being VONG. Now, these are both kind of largely, big tech heavy duplicative in many ways. So what I wanted to do is I want to get out of the VONG. I want to sell out of it, and I'm going to, the total out of that after I sell, it's going to be about $18,500. Now, it's funny you guys are talking about ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT what I should kind of diversify into, given that I want to get a little more international exposure, and also just kind of trying to still keep the growth going. So I want to hear what your takedown or your assessment of this, what it told me. It told me to put 65% of the money back into VUG, 20.
What?
20%.
How much? Wait. How much in VUG?
Yeah, 65% back into VUG because it's a growth fund.
Yeah, I know, because it's done well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, and I have. And then the 20% into VEA, which is the Vanguard International Fund, 10% into SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF, and then 5% into a stock called AXON. So I want to hear your rate of that, what ChatGPT told me to do.
Oh, thank God my job is not
Wait,
threatened.
ChatGPT told him to do this?
Yeah. I'm going to ask mine because I've trained mine differently than yours. You see, and that's a big part. That is a big part of what's wrong with AI right now is that it will, particularly ChatGPT, it will bias its answers based on how well it knows you.
That's not, but that portfolio sounded like something you would get at a Ameriprise or something to me. I mean,
it's all ETFs and for cheap ETFs.
Yeah, it's a sector buy. Yeah. It's an individual stock buy. This is the kind of stuff you see in the brokerage industry because they're going to tell you this is going to do better in the future.
Well, so what do you guys think? Is that it didn't advise you well, or it did?
I think it advised you horribly. Okay. Because
so
this portfolio is heavily weighted again toward technology. Heavily.
Okay, but what about VEA? What do you think about VEA?
That's the international.
Well, that's FTSE developed. Yeah, that's the. Yeah. But again, I think you could do that. You could do VEA along with the rest of the world by doing VT.
Or you could use one of the Avantis products that would be an international fund too. So
yeah.
Going to be more diversified, more small.
You'd recommend VT over VEA then?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
And because in this portfolio, what you have is you have growth stocks, so heavy tech. You would have heavy semiconductor, which is just silly. That's a sector bet. You have a stock, which is an individual company bet. Which now we've got two parts of this portfolio that we would consider to be gambling as opposed to investing, and the other two are very sort of specific, as if ChatGPT is trying to predict which segment of the market is going to do better in the future, and I don't think that's something it's good at yet. Might be someday. I don't know.
That's exactly what you would get, as I say, if you went to a major brokerage. That's the type of portfolio they would design for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would do something far more diversified. And if you want to be aggressive, you want to be more value in small, then look at AVGE or DFAW.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
All right, let me just give you the phone number for nearly the last time. 855-935-TALK. 855.
This is it?
935-8255.
For you?
I'm saying it's a good thing. We're elderly. Glad you mentioned that. We are elderly.
That was just so painful. I got to be honest. That really hurt. Because if you tell me elderly, I think like 80.
It's for the best that we are, Tom, because our days are numbered. They're numbered. We know they're numbered, but they're more numbered than we thought. Because during the break, I thought, well, if Jason's going to get advice from ChatGPT, I'm going to ask ChatGPT what it thinks of ChatGPT's advice for Jason.
Yeah.
So I said,
and
why would an iteration of you recommend VUG, VEA, SMH, and AXON as a complete portfolio? Short answer, they shouldn't. This mix is concentrated, thematically narrow, and ignores entire asset classes.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
It's such a great, it says, what's missing? No U.S. value, no U.S. small, no emerging, no real estate, no bonds, no balance or risk parity consideration, huge concentration in mega cap U.S. tech and single individual equity, which, by the way, AXON, they're the taser people.
Yeah, right. You would know that, of course.
Of course, because I've tased so many people.
No, I was speaking to the other end of the tase there.
Oh, yeah, I've never been tased.
Oh, okay. You've been hazed.
So anyway, that was really good advice from this ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Apparently, my ChatGPT is better trained.
Yeah, very much. Well done, sir.
ChatGPT tends to be a little sycophantic.
Yeah,
they want to make you happy.
That portfolio's, because that is not.
But what's interesting though is that my version said maybe you should consider VTI or SCHB, VEA, VWO, which is emerging. Add BND for ballast.
By the way, that portfolio, in addition to the asset classes you just mentioned, it does not have international small cap value, which you may know is up 27% year to date.
Yeah, that's the big gainer.
That's number one
market was Korea.
Yeah. So you want to own those things.
Not North
just
Korea.
Never know, so.
Not North.
Okay, there are no publicly traded stocks or stock markets in North Korea.
There are no public businesses. Well, they're all public. There are no private businesses in South Korea.
There's no way to invest in North Korea. Let's just leave it at that.
Unless you bring money over the Chinese border.
You just hand it to them, I guess.
855-935-TALK. That's our phone number. Let's go to Everett, Washington.
Ooh.
And Scott, you're up.
Hi, gentlemen. I had a question a few weeks ago that you might remember, and I asked a question about annuities, and I asked if any of you would recommend any of them. You just, I think Don started laughing a little bit, said, nah, no.
Well, maybe an immediate, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Now, I haven't tried ChatGPT yet. I think a better idea is just to listen to you gentlemen, honestly.
We're chat old people. We're chat old
chatty.
old people talk.
Well, I join you all. I'm about
Thank
ready
you.
to turn 70.
You don't sound elderly to me,
Anyway.
so yeah, okay.
Don't say the 7 word.
Well, neither do you guys, you gentlemen. Anyway, instead of an annuity as a statement, would it be better to say a person would be better off having a well-managed portfolio, choosing low-cost funds with proper diversification at a known level of risk? Some of the funds that you guys recommend, like AVGE, VT, maybe BND.
I'm going home now. Bye.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank
You just rewrote the program there, Scott. That's pretty much
Tom,
it
you
for the
and Scott
weekend.
just handle it from here, okay?
We got it. Yeah. I don't understand your question. The short answer is
Yes, you're right.
yes. That's correct.
Yes, okay. So just basically, if you can do that, just steer away from any annuity that's out there.
Well, but let's talk about the advantages. The advantage to owning an annuity for
There is one?
there's
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I left.
Is there one?
yeah, sure there is. You get some protection from
All right.
markets
If
going down. That's true.
Let's do the positives on the other side
Yeah.
of this break then.
All right. There we
Hang
go.
on, Scott, co-host. All right, new co-host. About the same age as me anyway, so I might as well leave. 855-935-TALK is our number. I'm out the door.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you suffer from financial flinch reflex? Hi, I'm Don McDonald, and financial flinch reflex, or FFR, is a widespread condition triggered by watching too much financial news and not having a solid retirement plan. Common symptoms include doom scrolling, yelling at your portfolio, and considering gold bars, crypto, or your brother-in-law's startup. Markets don't cause panic. Not having a plan for them does. The best treatment? A real financial plan. One that's based on your life, not the latest headlines. And yes, we're talking to you, future retiree. Start your financial calming regimen today with a free, no-pressure meeting with an Appella advisor at TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's TalkingRealMoney.com, because a plan is the antidote to panic. Side effects of planning may include peace of mind, smarter investing, and fewer late-night CNBC binges. Please plan responsibly. Appella is an SEC-registered investment advisor. See AppellaWealth.com or the firm's Form ADV for more details.
All right, we are back on Talking. Don has decided to retire after that last comment, and due to his rapidly advancing age, I guess that's it, right? Oh, no, there you are. You're back. Okay.
Well, I went downstairs and Debbie said, "Get back on the show. You don't get paid.
What are
you
you
don't
gonna
get
do?
paid for the whole show if you leave
that's
halfway through."
You're not Tom. You don't just get to take random weeks off whenever you want.
You're not
Get
Tom.
your ass in
So
there.
we're talking to Scott and Everett, and you're going to talk about the good of annuities, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so
There
there are,
isn't much.
in a non-qualified there could be some tax benefits to that. Yeah.
Can I argue that?
There-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You can take the other side. Sure.
The tax benefit
There
is
could be.
Yeah. Well, no, there is. You get tax deferral,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
when you pay the taxes, you get tax deferral too if you own an ETF that's in stocks. You get tax deferral
I didn't
on
say
all the
it was
growth.
exclusive. I said there are some benefits.
But the ETF, you get taxed at a capital gains rate. On the annuity, you get taxed as regular income. So
Yeah, you could. Here's another advantage. You can give the insurance company a bucket of money, and they'll pay you back with some small interest over a long period of time. So you get a guaranteed income, if you will.
And they've done the calculation where they know they're going to win.
Well, I didn't say that. I just
You're
said
saying
that
these are
that's an
benefits. I'm
advantage.
just saying.
There are, okay, I'm
To
just putting
whom?
it out there.
I see benefits to the insurance companies.
But to some people that want to take no risk, and there is risk, by the way, we could get into that because it is an insurance contract, right? Because you got to AIG et al. Has to pay you back. But there are things for people that feel this way about their money and just don't want to look at versus, as you point out, Scott, you buy a handful of exchange traded funds, you build the right portfolio, you create the income off of that. which we believe over the long haul will result in you having greater liquidity, you having more money, more control, all those things. But for some people, never want to do it. Is that fair, Don?
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's fair.
I mean,
Is it good? Is it good for people? Generally, not as good as Scott's advice, and maybe you should have been the one who left because Scott's better at the advice now than you are.
Well, I'm leaving soon. I didn't want to give you the date yet because you start whining. So it's coming fast, though.
Lake Chelan, dreaming of Lake Chelan.
Exactly.
Again.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I
the
never
call,
get to see
Scott.
a lake,
I hope that I hope you appreciate the help you gave us.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what I just said.
It's something about you.
I'm
and
old.
help or something.
I'm elderly.
Yeah, well, you should feel young because I'm older, I think, than either one of you. So, first of all, it sounded like, in a way, purchasing an annuity is also kind of betting against the house in Las Vegas a little bit.
Yep.
Because you're dealing with an insurance company.
They've run the numbers more than you're going to run them. That's for sure.
Absolutely true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. Anyway, I over the years I've appreciated your advice you've given. I think it's one of the best financial talk shows I've ever listened to. And
Wait,
I
one?
just wanted to offer.
Did you say one of the best? Wait a minute.
Okay, take.
No, the best. I'll say the best.
Take the compliment.
I just teasing him. Thank you, Scott. That's very nice.
Right. Thanks, Scott.
And I could not replace either one of you. I could not.
Listen, I got to find some new targets because I don't have a mother-in-law to to
I
pile
thought
the
you'd
jokes
at
on
least
anymore.
give it a week.
And my wife said too soon.
Too soon. Thanks, Scott. Take care. It's good to hear from you again. And
Anyway,
we got another call. We got another call.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Which will save you from your bad jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna head down south. Scott's up north. We're gonna go down south to Renton. Jane, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi. I have a question because this is getting advice from relatives bit, but my brother-in-law said that it would be better for me to get ETFs versus mutual funds because liquidation is quicker.
It is.
It is. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But is that really a reason to buy something? Or you need the money fast?
Well, no.
Truly, Jane, it's the difference between 1 day and about 3 days, 2 to 3 days. It's really a very small difference. I mean, it's your...
Okay. But here's the thing. ETFs are replacing mutual funds. I believe that mutual funds will essentially be a thing of the past before too long. So ETFs are the wave of the future. ETFs are easy to buy. There's an ETF for almost every asset class you can imagine.
But you got to make sure you buy the right just don't buy any ETF because it's an ETF.
Yeah.
So you got to buy index or rules-based funds, et cetera. But he is correct. You can get your money more quickly in exchange traded fund because they trade all day, every day. Mutual funds only trade at the end of the day. So, yeah, you could get your money faster.
During that period, probably doesn't make any difference. Are you still earning before they liquidate it, or
you're earning until the sale becomes complete, but in that interim period while you're waiting for the settlement, for the cash to get into an account, no, there is a period during which your money is not earning money, and
again, I would urge you not to look at those factors in terms of which security. Yeah, that's not going to shouldn't be a big part of your decision.
So when I was trying to figure out where to move my money out of Empower, which I've heard you talk about before, get the money out. It's a good place to grow your money. But once I retire, I need to move it. And so I opened a Vanguard account, and they put your money in a mutual fund while you're holding it and deciding where to place it. But what I'm hearing from you guys is you recommend more than just Vanguard.
Yes, you can get by with Vanguard,
but you could buy any ETF while at Vanguard. In other words, if you went and said, I want to own an Avantis fund, a dimensional fund, you can own all those at Vanguard, simply your custodian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Like Les Schwab would be a
Like
custodian.
Schwab would be. Yes, ma'am.
Not Les Schwab, because that's the
Like Schwab.
wheels go round and round.
Tire.
Charles Schwab, yes.
A lot of tires lately.
I'm going out to buy some tires soon, too, so I know the feeling.
This show does not talk about where the rubber meets the road. That's a different program, so we'll try for that. But no.
But if you go up north, I hear they have Canadian Tire dollars that you could buy tires with. Oh, by the way, I want to correct something that was with a mutual fund. You have to wait until the end of the day to get
That's
the
what
price.
I said, yeah.
With an
Right,
ETF,
correct.
you can sell it first thing in the morning. Anytime.
Well, you can sell it anytime.
However, the settlement time is different. A mutual fund settles next business day. An ETF trade is T2, trade date plus 2 days.
I think they changed that though recently. No, I thought for some reason because feels like anyway. I mean, but that wouldn't be a reason to buy one or the other. The reason and if your money's not qualified, it sounds like yours is, Jim, where it's going to be like a retirement account, right? That's what you're moving. That
Another IRA.
Yeah, then you don't get some of the advantages an ETF has, because there are some advantages tax-wise that really only matter with money that is non-qualified, like a brokerage account or a taxable account. So, but the expenses generally are less with exchange-traded funds than with mutual funds, generally.
You're right. ETFs on May 28th of 2020, I was looking at an old number. It's T1 for everything.
T1, yeah. So you
trade
can get
day
your money
plus 1 day.
quick.
You can get it 1 day.
But that's not the reason I would make a decision. I'll put it that way.
And then after Scott's comments, everyone would love to get a hold of my.
Of course they would. You're what they call in the business in play right now.
Someone's trying to have a presentation about National Life Group index annuities.
Run away. Run away as fast as your legs can carry you. Get in the car and drive to another country. Avoid this person
Cross
like the
border.
plague.
Yeah.
Change your
I
appearance.
haven't gotten my passport.
Yeah, I've got my passport.
You need to. If there's an appointment with this person, cancel it. These people are. Oh, they're so bad, and the pressure is so high, and the commissions for them huge.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Why do I hate indexed annuities so much?
Yeah, hate is horrible.
Why do you hate them? I hate them with a white-hot passion because I think the insurance industry created these products for one purpose only. And that is to enrich themselves. They weren't saying, I think we have a great product for consumers, like the ETF. The ETF was a great product for consumers.
Sure.
It had so many benefits. These things don't have any benefits. You don't get the return of the market, but they tell you do. The commissions run from 6 to, we've seen them as high as 12% up front.
Of the amount you give them,
of the
it's a lot of money.
amount you get them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get a product that
lack of liquidity.
Historically, you can't get your hands on all the money, and that might have a return, maybe as good as your CDs. Maybe.
We looked at that a while back, wrote a paper about it, and found it was about 3.5% a year.
Now it's maybe a little higher now.
To the market.
Maybe a little higher now.
Sure.
But they're just, my problem with them is that they were specifically designed to be, best word, opaque. I think worse than that, they're designed to deal with getting you scared, frightening you, and then saying, here's a solution. Look at the market. It can really take your money, and we'll fix that. I kind of, I mean, they're legal, but I think this is why I despise them so much. Yes, they're legal, but I think that they are 100% of the time unethical. 100% of the time unethical. Perfectly legal. Doesn't mean they're a nice product for people. And I don't like I don't like people in this industry who go out of their way to ignore the detriments of products because they make so much money. It's irresponsible.
Yeah, that's fair. They're sold rather than purchased.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as I read somewhere, they're the financial industry's timeshare.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
By the way, they're still selling like hotcakes.
Index annuities, yeah.
Oh, yeah. First of all, the number of people that have the money getting ready for retirement is big, right? A lot of baby boomers. Second, people have seen the market do a lot of bad bear markets, et cetera, right? Or mini bears, and they get scared and like, well, I got to do something here. I don't want to lose all my money in retirement. So I get it.
Wow. Gee. Fixed index annuities in the first quarter of 2025, $27 billion in sales. Yeah. However, sneaking up on them and actually surpassing them are the registered index-linked annuities, which had $17.5 billion in sales. That's a 20% jump over 2024.
It's a similar type of product.
Similar type of product.
Yeah.
Similar type of product.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
You don't need them. You don't need them.
No, and they are a horrible retirement planning tool. Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you all. You have anything you want to add? Because we're 30 seconds out here before.
No, please write us if you want some help or call us if you want some help. We're glad to be there for you.
You can do both on the same form at talkingrealmoney.com. You can write or ask a question at talkingrealmoney.com. And you can also, if you'd like, meet with a real live fiduciary advisor who would never sell an index annuity ever.
Never?
Ever, by going to talkingrealmoney.com and clicking on the button that says Meet an Advisor.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded.
Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone.
This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction.
Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services.
Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.